10 more cursed Minecraft mods. Yakul's Dirts to Diamonds mod is a mod that adds in a brand new furnace that requires the recipe of a normal furnace, 2 diamonds, and 6 bits of dirt to craft a furnace that will convert dirt into diamonds. Yes, this is as dumb as it sounds, and even the mod makes fun of the fact that it is by having the word dumb spelled at the top of the furnace itself. But hey, I guess you can have a bit of fun with that one and do something completely beyond stupidity because diamonds are diamonds, I guess. Moving on to framed blocks. Framed blocks as in various different shapes that you can be made to look like any block in the game, and I pretty much mean almost anything in the game you can use on these beautiful frames. Basically, you have the following types of frames. Your typical cube, you got slopes, corner slopes, inner corner slopes, like a huge amount of variations. You can make even slab edges, different types of stairs, walls, fences, doors, trapdoors, pressure plates, ladders, buttons, lever signs, torches, chests. You can do so many different things. It's like, overall, it's a very cool and very useful mod, but it's also cursed at the same time, seeing certain types of blocks that were never made to be put in these weird shapes. For example, a slow piece of TNT. That's just so weird, so odd looking, but this mod allows you to do so much with things along those lines, and it's so cool. You can even add glowstone dust to it to make it produce light, regardless of it being an item that isn't even that. Mainly because it's all being blocks being used as a camouflage on the frame, which you can put glowstone on the frame in order to make it to glow. So ultimately, it's just a really in-depth mod of how much customization you have, and this adds in so many different items to the game. It's not even funny, mainly because of the fact that it can use a majority of items on the game to create different styles of those blocks and different variants and so many awesome things along those lines. Up, down, and all around is probably a mod you've seen beforehand if you're familiar with Technoblade, because this is a mod that he actually used in one of his videos. Basically, it's a mod that allows you to tamper with the typical gravity of Minecraft depending on what type of item you're holding. You can make it so that you fall upside down, like basically you fall up instead of down. You can make it so that you fall across the land and horizontal or above the land. Ultimately, it's a really awesome cursed mod that can really make an awesome challenge to the game if you want to try it out. It'll also change up how the game functions entirely, as it forces you in order to actually work around so many other different bits and pieces, and as well as the fact that this mod will forcibly force you to die if you go up to Y255 in 1.12, because this is a 1.12 mod. Unfortunately, some mods don't get updated up to the latest versions, especially some of the older, cooler ones, but ultimately it's a really cool mod that allows you to swap gravities of wherever you're going, and it can be a pretty fun challenge, especially if you do it with friends. Moving on to our next cursed mod, we have an unironically massive mod known as Meme in a Bottle. It kind of sounds a little bit weaker than what you would think, but this is inspired based upon a tweet of a random mod idea created by a user known as Palmer. The idea of this is it's pretty much a mod that adds in a huge amount of different mods. There's a good collection of actual visual mods that can spawn in certain items. For example, you have Clippy from Microsoft Office Assistance meme. I had to take a breather there, but basically you can spawn that in and it just does start random stuff. It doesn't really add anything to the game. Like, none of these do anything to add to the game. It's literally just a huge collection of visual memes, and there's also a huge amount of sound only memes as well, to the point where there's way too many for the creator of this mod to actually list in the description of this mod as well. There is just a lot of awesome random memes you can play around with when it comes to this mod. It is also updated to 1.16, so that's also a good thing to know, and this guy is actively developing this mod, as the last update was back in October, so this is still active to an extent. So overall, it's a really cool thing. He's continuously trying to add in new mods, etc. It's a really wacky cursed mod that just adds in a huge amount of memes in Minecraft, and I mean, who doesn't like memes? Moving into our next cursed mod, a mod that is fairly unknown with just under 400 downloads. APF by MayMonkey05 is the name of it. It's a collection of awesome random joke things. For example, we've got a certain wondrous stick that is ultimately overall used aside from the fact that it does 5 damage, which, I mean, it's a wondrous stick. You can't enchant it because it's already got the enchanted click automatically put onto it, as well as nothing else you can really do with it. You can also get a golden hen, which has a potential ability to relay golden eggs for some weird reason. Don't know why you're going to need that, but hey, it's there, it exists. There's also a new mob called the Adventurer. He won't do anything to hurt you. He'll just be a thing that you'll encounter throughout the world that will not really do much. But when you kill him, you'll get fresh flesh, not rotten flesh. You get fresh flesh, and when you cook it, you can get a collection of different things. You can also use it to make 2 other items in the mod. Overall, just a collection of random wacky things that you can do just because, I don't know, it's a bunch of random shenanigans inside of a mod that is overall cursed and just has a bit of fun for it, you know? Another stupid, silly curse mod, you've got Coffin Dance on You. This is very simple and does only one little thing. Whenever you die, you get Coffin Dance in various different variations, whether it be normal, base boosted, ear rape, Repulsor, Hardcore Remix, Electro Swing Remix, Compeller Remix, and a collection of different ones on top of it. This is overall a big mod just for the sake of the fact that these are videos that play that does require you to have a decent computer because these are not optimized for performance, but overall it's quite a funny thing just to deal with. Just the fact every time you're dead, you just get coffin danced upon. Moving on to our next mod, we've got a mod known as Opposite Dimensions. This is a mod that adds in a new dimension known as the Mirror Dimension. Basically speaking, once you get a certain type of block as well as smelt your flint and steel inside of a furnace to get an upside down flint and steel, you can open up this portal and go to the opposite direct dimension, or the mirror dimension, whatever you want to call it. It's got multiple different names for Christ's sakes. The first thing you'll see is trees that will have trunks of leaves and leaves of wood. Quite bizarre overall, but it gives you a nice good amount of wood to deal with. Then when you go underground, there is a lack of stone blocks, and it's completely made of grass, dirt blocks, as well as a bunch of other shenanigans to it. And then you'll come across a collection of different mobs that are very weird. They're not even going to be hostile towards you, and some mobs are going to be actually holding flowers. But the ones to watch out for are your typical passive mobs. These guys are going to attack you at any moment instead, making the game a little bit more interesting and a fun challenge overall. Moving on, we've got Punch Me Not. This is kind of similar to a mod that I've shown off in one of my realistic Minecraft mods video, except for the fact this doesn't add in any other ways to go around it. Instead, whenever you try to punch a block that isn't dirt with tools that aren't the correct one, including stone, wood, gravel, and even grass, you can actually take damage from punching it. Yeah, that's right. You can punch anything that isn't normal dirt and you'll take damage when you hit it. But the weird question is it doesn't give you any other way to go around it. So for example, when you're collecting your first lot of wood, you are going to have to sacrifice some of your health to actually collect wood in order to create your first tool so you can stop having to take damage when collecting wood. It just adds a bit more of a random challenge to the game that, ultimately speaking, doesn't really change too much of a game except for just the very beginning when you don't have any tools, and beyond that point it's pretty much normal Minecraft from then on out. Moving on to the next mod, we've got a mod known as Better Slabs mod. This one can allow you to just make slabs out of almost any block in Minecraft. You can make stands, walls, or simply floors out of anything to fit your aesthetic needs. There's also the possibility to rotate the slab, whether it makes it a slope or whether it just be rotating the block on its axis, to make some pretty interesting looking creations and block placements overall. It also can create the ability to create some really interesting wheel-like structures and so many other bits and pieces as well. There's even a mode that will allow you just to turn all blocks back to normal with the simple one click. Moving on to our next mod, we've got a mod known as the Meat mod. The Meat mod adds in some new features and tools to the meat already present into the game. You can condense various meats both into raw and cooked block, maximizing storage and minimizing inventory storage space taken up to this. You can also have a collection of interesting things such as crafting armor from condensed meat as well. And you can also cook it up to have the armor be slightly stronger than before. You can also come across a vein of meat ore when you're mining, so you can craft some cool tools made of meat. Yeah, I don't even get who the person was thinking whenever they made this, but it's something really stupid and cursed, but funny at the same time. So if you did enjoy this, click this video here to check out more Minecraft cursed mods. Goodbye.